Video called Getting Subscribers is like asking a girl out. And here's how that works. So, assuming that your content is squared away, that you are making good to great content, you got to fix that first. If you're not doing that, then you can forget about subscribers. But if you're doing that, you have to think about what are the dynamics that go. And if you're a lady watching this, asking a guy out. But I know most ladies, don't go ask guys out. Usually it's the guy that asks the girl out. What are the dynamics of being able to ask a girl out? So let's paint the picture. You're at a party. It's a bunch of people there. You're hanging out. You see a girl that you really like. So you walk over and you talk to her. And you're chopping it up. You're talking. You're getting to know one another, and the chemistry's there. You have an affinity for one another. It's very obvious that that's the case. So you have provided something of value to her. Maybe you've solved the problem of her being shy and not having anyone to talk to. Maybe you've solved the problem of just giving her interesting conversation. Okay, so getting subscribers. One of the problems that I see a lot of creators that do make great content have is that they can't close the deal when they get toward the end of their video. All right, and simply one of the best ways to get subscribers if you're already making great content is to ask for it. And I can't tell you how many creators I've seen. I'm never going to ask anybody to subscribe to my channel because it's like the Reddit culture where it's like you can never ask for anything for yourself. It's very prevalent among people younger than me, but it's. I've actually seen people like Review Tech USA. He has that mantra at the end of his video. And I've seen people comment like, I ain't subscribing because you asked me. Screw you. Like, really? Like, is that the mentality? And so I think that kind of ideal has turned people off to asking people to subscribe. But it's not just getting to the end of your video. I was helping a guy out earlier this week. And he did ask for the subscribe. But he got through his entire video, which was actually informative. It was a decent video. But he put credits on it, and the credits are rolling. At the end of the credits, it says, like, nobody's reading your credits, dude. That's not, I mean, you're not going to close it. You're not going to ask a girl out by writing it on a sheet of paper and then handing it to her at the end of your conversation, right? So one of the things I want to really focus in on, if you haven't read this book by Dr. Cialdini here, Robert Cialdini, called Influence, he talks about in this book one of the cognitive biases that we all of us humans have called the commitment and consistency bias. And so what you want to do in your videos in order to close the deal is you don't want to get all the way to the end of your show and then say, hey guys, subscribe to my channel, thanks. What you want to do is build an experience. Again, making great content that solves a problem, but you want to build an experience and a rapport with your audience as you're taking them through whatever the video is that you're doing. And what he shows in the book is basically what commitment consistency bias is once we have established something, we don't like to change. So for example, you've probably dealt with marketers at some time or another that say, hey, wouldn't you like to make more money? And of course, it's a leading question. Everybody's going to be like, yeah, of course I'd like to make more money. Who doesn't want to make more money? Like Mother Teresa wants to make more money because she can help people, right? And he's like, well, I've got this program that's going to help you do that. And then when you inevitably say no, he's going to be like, well, wait a minute. You told me that you wanted to make more money. And I've got this program that's proven to work. So in your mind, you're going to struggle depending on how you can deal with the commitment consistency bias that we all struggle with in our mind, how you've developed to defend yourself against it. It's going to be very hard for you to turn that down. If any of you have been to, have any of you ever been to a timeshare where you're on vacation and they're like, hey, tomorrow there's going to be a free breakfast and we'll give you tickets to go to, something at Disney World or something if you just come have breakfast with us. And then breakfast inevitably turns into a sales pitch where commitment consistency bias and Kantian fairness bias says, well, they gave me breakfast and they walked me through this thing. It would be rude for me to leave and not listen to their sales pitch, which is why it's hard for you to leave. But then at the end, when they're selling it to you, it's hard for you to turn it down because you've already agreed to what they said to you in the beginning. So they give you a small commitment up in the beginning, and then you say yes to it. And then they hit you with the bigger one at the end. It's harder for you to say no to it. So the way you do that in your videos without being manipulative is first you build an experience. It's a place where people enjoy hanging out. They want to be a part of what you're doing. And by the way, that's what makes the most successful Let's Players as powerful as they are. Markiplier, PewDiePie, all these guys make you feel like you're in their living room with them. So that's the first piece. The second piece that you want to consider is you want to build commitment throughout the video. So let's say you're getting toward the end, you could say something like, hey, I think we've had a good time hanging out tonight, guys. You agree we've had a good time hanging out? And you'll probably get a bunch of people, especially if you're live streaming, in the comments said, yeah, man, we've had a great time hanging out. Well, when you get to the end of the video, you've given that small commitment. Yes, we've had a great time hanging out. You've got them to say yes. Okay? When you get to the end of the video, say, look, we had a great time hanging out tonight. I know we did, and I want to give you more value in the future. So my request to you is so that I can give you more content, more dope content that you're going to love, and we can hang out together, subscribe to my channel. And I guarantee you, if you looked at your subscriber rate of that video versus one where you A, didn't even ask for the subscribe, or B, you just kind of nonchalantly at the end was like, yo, subscribe to my channel, whatever, you're going to watch that subscriber rate on those individual videos start to pick up. And the way that relates to, you can take that from the dating experience is it's the same thing. If I'm trying to get, like with my wife, if I wanted to go out on a date with her, I wouldn't ask, hey, yo, you want to go out to coffee with me next Thursday? No, I'd get a small commitment first. I'd say, yo, we've been hanging out at this party all night, and I've really enjoyed talking to you, seriously and sincerely. I think it would be really cool if we hung out in the future, don't you? The minute she says yes, boom, done. Whoa, okay, great. Then I tell you what, why don't you give me your number, and I'd like to call you. Maybe we can get together this weekend on Saturday. Because she's already committed to saying yes, that you're an awesome person to hang out with, she's not going to want to say no to you asking her out on the date because it goes against what she just affirmed. So same thing with your video content. It's just the same. You want to build the experience. Then, oh, is somebody trying to dial in? What am I missing here? Is anybody else hearing that besides me? Okay.
I'm not, but it looks like Adam Taylor's trying to get into the channel.
Okay. So, same principle. Remember, number one, create the experience. Number two, affirm the experience. Ask your people, haven't we had a great time hanging? And it's not being manipulative. It's not being cheesy. It's being real with your people. Like, yo, I do these videos. I do these live streams. One, because I love helping people. Two, because I love hanging out. I do them live because I want to be around people. I'm an extreme extrovert, so I don't even have to be flaky about it, or cheesy about it. It's the truth. And then when everybody agrees to it, it's like, well, then, hey, man, subscribe to my channel so we can do this again. Boom. And you're in there. Okay? Any questions on that before I jump into the next topic here?
I think you just awed everybody with your great advice, and then not only that, you turned around and you just gave everybody great dating advice.
There you go.
So now you've also become the dating coach. You didn't pick up on that?
Yep. Well, that's part of my other life. That's my other persona on YouTube.